This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Betterhelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with a case of the blues during the holidays, and therapy was a bright spot amid all the stress and anxiety. Something to look forward to help me feel grounded, to provide me with the tools I needed to manage everything that was going on.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, I love it because the music's still playing and you're dancing, man. Keep it going. On today's episode, we're talking about AEW Collision, where the Continental Classic, the Transatlantic Classic is beginning.
They should have had Christopher Walken announce that.
Oh, the Continental. Yes. That'd be great. So we got
some champagne.
So AEW's ripping off the G1. We're going to talk about that. WWE SmackDown with what I'd like to call a heat check episode. no bloodline, not a lot of anything else going on, but they're seeing how hot they are with a really cool damage control angle and a really cool Santos Escobar LWO angle. So we're going to talk about that as well. But first, it's been a weekend, so we've got to talk about some news. Larson, what's in the news?
Honestly, not much, but we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Because it was a hot topic and potentially could be, but, now with an actor's strike over.
Done.
Seems pretty unlikely that The Rock is going to make it to WrestleMania 40. He's probably got like 15 projects just piled up, just waiting for him to start working through. Mania is probably not in the cards for Dwayne.
Probably not.
However, that didn't stop Cody Rhodes from being asked on the most recent edition of Busted Open Radio about the possibility of The Rock getting a match or making an appearance at Mania. Presumably, if he had a match at Mania, you'd assume it's against Roman Reigns. This is what Cody had to say about it. These transcripts come to you via Fightful. Steve, you're the Cody stan here.
Oh, yeah.
Cody's your favorite person in the universe. Do you want to take these Cody quotes?
I honestly thought you were going to steal this from me. I'm so happy that you threw it to me because
all right, here's what Cody said. Nobody's asked me about their... Okay, sorry.
Whoa, buddy. About to get 3 crossroads over here. What would it take for you? 3 or 1? Would you be a 1 crossroads or would it take all 3?
Dude, I'm going to no-sell those crossroads.
All right.
You're going to need to hit me with a vertebreaker.
Oh, scary. So Cody said this. Nobody's asked me about The Rock. I'm just gonna make him extra aggressive in this quote right here.
Super grumpy.
I'm pretty sure he said it like, nobody's asked me about The Rock. I think they're scared to ask me or they don't want to be rude. I'll say this about The Rock. Coming on Pat McAfee's show, which I was watching live because I love Pat, and then SmackDown, The Rock did for sports entertainment so much and continues to do so much by being the biggest star in Hollywood that I'm able to be at the level I'm at because I can stand on the shoulders of those of The Rock's. He could have come on there and run me down, and I would still have the highest respect for the great one. He's honestly a model superstar for anyone who wants to supersede expectations. With that said, that was the politician bit. With that said, no matter what he said, anyone who asked me or confronted me on it, I'm not flinching. I feel if The Rock and I were in the same room, he would expect nothing less from me. If you think it's somebody else, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you know it's me. That's the same attitude The Rock had when he was climbing the ladder. I don't care who it is. If that happens to be The Rock, if it happens to be anybody, a wonderful superstar like LA Knight,
Yeah.
We added the yes. He didn't say the yeah. A stellar performer like Sami Zayn, line them up, and I'm going to do everything I can to outrun them. I mean that with the utmost respect. I wasn't shook at all by Rock's big day out. What I would say is not flinching. If Rock is part of WrestleMania 40, that'd be outstanding. It's The Rock, but I don't think he'll be in my spot.
Wow.
Hey, guess what? I'm going to channel my Wade Barrett now. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Roman's totally going to beat Hogan's record. They keep talking about this damn Hogan record, and that's going to take them all the way to SummerSlam. I think they're going to lower expectations by putting Cody kind of sort of like after the Rumble in like a different program. Maybe it'll be Gunther. Maybe it'll be Cody versus Gunther.
Randall Keith Orton.
Ooh,
he's coming back soon, reportedly. What do you mean that's dangerous?
That's
heel
dangerous,
Randy?
man.
No.
Crowd
Heel
loves
Randy.
heel Randy. Crowd loves heel Randy maybe more than good guy Randy.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. But that being said, it's Randy. People buy into it because Randy Orton. He's good. If he's in a
He's
program,
a big deal too. He's like not a terrible proxy for Roman Reigns. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If they really are intent on having Roman topple Hogan's record, even though it's like he's third all time in terms of, it's not really a record. Record is tops, you know.
Well, that's what Mayor Pete here in the chat's saying. It's not a record, it's a reign. Well, topple Hogan's reign then, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's the most well-known. Hogan is probably the most well-known wrestler ever. Probably. Maybe up for debate. Nonetheless, if they want to kind of set up Hogan's reign as the one to topple as opposed to the Bruno one, which no one's ever going to touch.
No.
8 years? No one's ever going to touch that.
Right?
No. Maybe if there was like two wrestlers in WWE, and they just had those two wrestlers keep on wrestling the whole time in house shows across the country. Never
I'm
televised.
sorry. That's such a weird concept that you just threw out there.
I know.
Yeah, just two wrestlers.
Maybe then someone, 8 years as champ, if they just caravan around the country and put
like
on house
the
shows.
Globetrotters.
Kind of,
one
yeah.
guy is the Globetrotters and the other guy is the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, no one's getting close to Bruno. So if they want to kind of make Hogan like the attainable record to break,
Yeah,
all
right, yeah. Reign, yeah. Sorry, Mayor Pete. Reign, record, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, record. But even then, I don't know. Like, are they going to be able to get another half a year's worth of material? It's more than that, almost a whole year's worth of material out of this Bloodline deal.
Well, okay, here's the thing. We have to realize, right, that like business is everything. And I mean, look,
Cody's not bad for business.
What'd they do this week with the Bloodline? A single Jimmy promo, and that
was 2 sentences.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not even a promo. It was 2 sentences.
No.
It was one sentence, a phone call, and then another sentence where he said, "Not yeet," which is pretty funny. Yeah, like I get the feeling that they're rolling pretty deep, and Roman is kind of the thing. I don't know. A year goes by really quick. Like we're coming back up on WrestleMania season now.
I know, but we still have 5 months till then. Here's the thing, though, Steve.
Yes.
Maybe one of the reasons they're building up depth across the board in terms of interesting stories is they're building up to the day when Roman's not going to be champ anymore, and so they may not have the champion that they've built up to the caliber of Roman around as still champ, but they got Cody, who's like constantly in the top 5 merch sales.
He outsells WWE generic merchandise.
I know. Apparently, it's like only LA Knight and John Cena that outsells Cody.
Oh,
My
really?
memory
I
is
thought
correct.
Cody was tops. I thought LA Knight sort of fluctuated.
No, LA Knight was tops in October.
Oh, was he? That's awesome.
I think so.
Good for him.
So, I mean, you got, for example, you got LA Knight, you put the U.S. title on him for a while, then next year at Mania, you put him in the world titles picture. Bang. If he can maintain this level of popularity. You got Cody, who's like the most over face in the wrestling business right now.
Yeah.
You got what they're doing with Judgment Day. Stuff with Damage Control is really good right now. Even if Roman drops the belt at Mania and is off TV for a spell, with WWE's continued emphasis on telling stories and interesting stories at that, I mean, what have we been saying this whole time with the Bloodline deal? You tell interesting stories, people are going to watch.
So it is going to be interesting to see what philosophy they roll with. Is it going to be a situation where they run this thing into the ground, and once they realize that they've already milked it, then they make the transition, or do they actually try to wait and strike while the iron's hot? And it's like, which a lot of people felt it was last year's WrestleMania, but they've been able to get some really good stuff. But you're right. It's getting to the point where how much more juice can you squeeze out of this thing? I just don't know that they want to do the Hogan thing.
So we talked about if Cody were to face Randy at Mania 40, who would be Roman's opponent then? If not The Rock, if not Cody, who?
Maybe it wouldn't be Cody versus Randy. Could it be Roman versus Randy? What if Randy's return is like, at Survivor Series, it's like a huge deal, and Triple H loves Randy Orton, and he's like, and Orton's thinking maybe, hey, this is my last big turn, or this is my last big run, because I don't know how much longer I got.
Yeah.
and he wins the Rumble. I don't know many fans that would complain. I mean, look, they're out there. They'll be all over the internet because it's like, dude, this guy's been around for 20,000 years. Like, why is he winning Royal Rumbles? But the live crowd, a fresh Randy Orton who's motivated, wins the Rumble, comes after Roman. I don't know if, I mean, I don't necessarily want to see it. I get the feeling that people would be okay with that, though. What do you think?
Then if not Randy for Cody, who would Cody face then?
Oh, Gunther.
But then Cody would have to win that.
Yeah, I know. He'd be the Intercontinental Champion. He was tag champion. Dude, he's climbing. Look, you think this story is a single is like the first chapter? Hey, I failed last chapter. No, man, it's a whole book. A tag champion with Jay, and then the guy who beat me in the Rumble, that I had to barely squeak against in the Rumble. Maybe the scenario you talked about on whatever thing we did last week comes true, and Cody is number 1 and Gunther is number 30, but Gunther beats him. But then Randy Orton beats Gunther, and then that leads you to Cody versus Gunther.
No, I don't want Gunther losing to Cody. No, pass.
I know you don't want it. I'm just saying.
No.
Cody and then he brings back the Intercontinental Championship, the white strap with the old school design. People would go crazy.
Great looking
for
title.
That.
Not worth having Gunther lose for, though.
And then the ultimate challenge at SummerSlam, Intercontinental Champion Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. He's got the Hogan record. And then they go into SummerSlam. It's the ultimate challenge. It's the tribal challenge.
Constellations.
Yeah, constellations and shit. Yeah, man. I booked it. I did it.
No, I'm not interested in Gunther losing to Cody.
Cody holding up both titles. Wow. No. Mind blown, identity revealed.
No.
There it is. Maggie says, I'm late, but I know y'all already hit the like button. Maggie, we're talking about the great situation here where Cody Rhodes beats Gunther at Mania, then goes on to beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Scenario that Steve's writing here.
The Tribal Challenge.
Pass.
The Nightmare Challenge, whatever they call it. Yeah.
Pass.
Oh, that's good.
No,
that's good.
Not interested in that. As far as Cody here saying if The Rock's there, I don't think he'll be in my spot. Well, the issue would be that if they move Cody's spot.
Yeah, so you're right about that, Cody, because you've got the Cody spot, but Rock would have the main event spot.
Exactly. Cody, you have the Randy Orton spot on mid-card night 1.
Look, all you got to do, Cody, is go get on the Google Trends, and then you put in Cody Rhodes, and then you put in The Rock, and then you kind of got to see at that point who's going to be main event.
One's the flat line, one's the pyramid, as MJF said about him and Jay White. Yes.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, so that's all. Yeah, that's all really good stuff. I'm glad we booked that. Anyway,
no, none of that was good. Cody beating Gunther? No, that's not good.
Oh come on, jeez, your love of Gunther is ridiculous.
Justified, yes.
Could you imagine if I had that kind of love for a wrestler? You'd be all over.
You do. It's Cody. It's of a magnitude far greater than my own for Gunther.
That's different, though. That's different. Anyways, Larson, hey, you want to pay some bills real quick before this
devolves? Yeah, let's do that.
Before you assault me more.
I'll berate you.
All right. So, go ahead, Larson.
All right. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Betterhelp. Steve, let's be honest here.
Okay.
The holiday season, it could be a lot. It could be a time of joy, but it could also be a time of stress, anxiety, and sadness.
And if you're dealing with the seasonal blues during the holidays, therapy can be a bright spot amid all the stress. Something to look forward to help you feel grounded and to provide you with tools to manage everything going on.
I could think of a time when I wasn't exactly looking forward to the holidays and everything that comes with it. Back in my mid-20s, there was a period where my anxiety got really, really bad. So bad, in fact, that I realized in order to live a happier, more productive life, I needed to go to therapy. And it took me a few tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I was able to learn positive coping skills to help manage my anxiety and get me back on track, becoming a better Larson.
So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/raw.
Before we get started with our SmackDown, actually, no, we'll talk about SmackDown first, and then then we'll talk about the great things we offer by clicking join on the YouTube. We're going to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. So in my view, SmackDown, it was a demonstration of number one, we just talked about the depth that they have, because there were two big angles on the show. One involved Santos Escobar finally turning on, because at the behest of Carlito, you want to talk about this, Ray? I want to talk about it. Carlito want to talk about it. It's talked about this dude put the brass knucks on the apron. And Rey Mysterio has been around since, like, I don't know, a long time, late or mid-90s rather. And he doesn't recognize that this guy, number one, I forgot, I didn't realize, I love that they did the recap for the Logan Paul stuff, and Logan Paul was completely playing. He didn't say, "Oh, I had to do what I had to do." He was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Ray. You're a champion. Love you."
yeah, you're a legend.
You're a legend. That stuff was great.
That was great.
So Carlito calls out Santos Escobar for leaving the brass knucks there. And Ray's like, "Oh, no, Familia, it's all good." But no. And then Santos attacks Ray. And then Ray attacks him back, and then Santos really attacks Ray, and he's left laying.
What I like about it, didn't necessarily feel premeditated, the attack here on SmackDown on the part of Santos. It felt like a situation where he thought he and Ray were like brothers.
Yeah, right.
Family is something they both kept saying. LWO is a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Carlito, the newest member of this family, comes and accuses Santos of betraying Ray, and then Santos is like, "You're taking his side over mine?"
Yeah, it seems like that's what I like about it. It didn't seem like, so this is obviously not something Santos set up.
Yeah.
But clearly it's been weighing heavily on Santos, because you kind of get the feeling that he sees it both ways. He sees Ray as family, but if you go back, and it's funny because Zelina, like on social media or whatever, was like, this isn't the Santos I know. I'm like, well, you need to watch your NXT. I think you do know this is exactly what Santos Escobar is like. And it didn't seem like he wanted this in the moment, but this was a long time coming. Just like he says about Rey Mysterio, he had this coming. Once you turn, you realize you got to go all in on it. Thought it was really well done. I thought it was a good moment to do that. Looking forward to this feud. I think it'll be good. And then sort of in bigger, I thought more interesting, or also very interesting stuff, was Asuka turning once again on Bianca and Charlotte and joining her besties there in Damage Control.
I mean, wasn't that long ago that Asuka was feuding with Bianca, and then Bianca and Charlotte were like, "Sure, we trust you. Tag with us."
Yeah.
And how often have we seen a tag match where someone eventually turns at the end, where the person who's going to turn is involved in the tag match fighting the people they're going to eventually join? This match, they didn't do that.
Yeah,
Asuka didn't tag in at all.
I know. It makes sense. I like
and
that.
They orchestrate it pretty well, where it if you didn't know the outcome, you wouldn't have really noticed it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the big hug that happens, which you have to love, and they even reference it. I don't do the hugging thing anymore. Like, they're making her participate in the one thing that she's like, I've tried so hard to distance myself from, the hugger gimmick. And they're like, no, we're going to envelop you in one giant hug to make you feel super uncomfortable, because now you're dealing with the wild card Asuka, her best friend Kyrie, who, as Bailey gets out there on the table, this is what I did to you last time. How are you okay with this? And Kyrie, in a very sinister way, I forgive you. Okay.
I respect you as a leader of Damage Control, and I forgive you.
Right. That's scary. And then on top of that, Dakota Kai is in on it with everybody else, and Bailey's the one being left out, but they're embracing her still. Oh, this is going to be gnarly. This is going to be bad for Bailey. But all of a sudden, because of this dynamic, she is the one the crowd will now associate with. She's the proxy because the crowd's going to be waiting for this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we all know it's coming.
It's kind of like a horror movie. It's like, okay, I'm with them now, but this is probably not good. Things are going to go bad. Or it's like Point Break where Johnny Utah gets in with the Surfers. And then, oh no, now I'm being forced to wear a No, they didn't even give him a president's mask.
No.
They made him go in there barefaced.
It's going to be a lot like when Sammy was member of Bloodline. It was just week after week, there'd be an awkward situation. Oh, this is when they're going to kick him out. This is when they're going to kick him out. But more often than not, when those moments were in front of us, something would pivot and be like, no, we're bringing him closer now.
Mm-hmm.
So when the eventual turn happened, it was all the more heartbreaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is something, if they do this right, I feel like they can do Bailey and Io at Mania.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have time to let the story play out. We're going to get, I would imagine, at least a month or two of simmering tensions between Bailey and the rest of Damage Control before the eventual, they eventually kick her out.
Given how expertly, you just referenced it, given how expertly they did the Sami Zayn bloodline stuff, the recipe is there for something both unique and that we have a blueprint for already, but in its own way. And I don't know how these dynamics are going to play out, but I really like it. I want to see like a little bit of this, like you said, a month or two at least, of what this Damage Control looks like with Bailey along for the ride. You saw how much they got out of the Sami Zayn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this could definitely take you to Mania, whether it's Io and Bailey or whatever the situation is. But I like that this is involving the WWE Women's Championship. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to play out, if it's going to lead to Bailey winning the Rumble, or if this is going to be something that doesn't, because the Rumble's not that far away.
No.
So I get the feeling this sort of can be, whoever wins the Rumble is probably going to be going after the Rhea title. The EO title is probably going to be, you're probably right. It's probably going to be safe for Bailey. I could see that being the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. Also, shout out Kevin Owens. Expert commentary job on SmackDown, filling in for Corey Graves. Carmella gave birth to their child earlier in the week, so Corey Graves was on paternity leave. Yep. And so Kevin Owens filled in and was fantastic. Busted out the telestrator, which is the old gimmick that I wanted them to do for Sami Zayn.
There is nobody. Yeah, I know, and it was awesome. He did the smiley faces and everything, and then he found the button for the arrows.
Yeah. There
is nobody long-term I want to see on commentary post-wrestling career than Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine a commentary team of a play-by-play guy, Sammy and Kevin Owens?
That'd be something else.
I couldn't think of a better, like that could potentially be an all-time commentary team right now.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
So the show kicked off with Kevin Owens making his way down, join the commentary team for the night. Rey Mysterio makes his entrance. The first thing Kevin Owens does is cheer. He loves Rey Mysterio. He's made that abundantly clear.
He's worn his shirts before. He loves Rey Mysterio.
At one point he says during the show, is like, I've done some terrible things. I've turned on a lot of people. I would never turn on Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
So Rey comes to the ring. He's joined by the rest of the LWO, save for Carlito. Greets the crowd, says, let's cut to the chase. Last Saturday at Crown Jewel, I put my U.S. title on the line against Logan Paul. As you can see, Logan stole my title. We all know the ref decision is final, but I truly believe that Logan couldn't beat me without those brass knuckles. Without those brass knuckles, I'd be standing right here still as U.S. champ. So I promise to do whatever I can to get a rematch against Logan Paul, but he's interrupted by Carlito. Carlito comes to the ring. It takes the mic from Rey. He says, do you want to do Carlito, Steve?
Yeah, I love doing Carlito's voice. It's awesome. So Carlito, like you said, grabs the mic and says, Rey, nobody wants to see you as U.S. champ more than Carlito. But we're not going to talk about it? You want to talk about it? Carlito wants to talk about it. You're blaming the wrong person, Rey. It's not Logan. Blame the person who left the brass knuckles for him. Santos Escobar. And then Carlito and Santos start yelling at each other. Rey's like, calm down, tranquilo. And Santos says, I'm out of here. And then I guess the cool down zone is in the timekeeper's area.
Yeah, I guess so. That's where you go for timeout. Yeah,
that's where he goes. And then Rey and Zelina follow while Carlito argues with Wild and Del Toro. And then Lashley's music hits while all this is going on. And Carlito's got a big match against jacked Lashley.
Yeah.
And so he's starting, or he's inserting himself, or he's letting this drama play out. He's sort of the instigator of this drama right before a match.
I know.
Against Lashley. It's not some chump. It's Lashley.
I know, exactly. So the match kicks off, and B-Fab is watching backstage. Eventually, Ashanti, the Adonis, steps up to her, and they talk a bit. And then back in the ring, Carlito sends Lashley out, hits the plancha, puts Lashley back in the ring. He's setting up for something, but Ford grabs Carlito's foot as he gets back in. A huge brawl breaks out ringside between the Street Profits and Cruz and Del Toro. Santos runs down to join the fight, but this distracts the ref, allowing Montez to kick Carlito, and then Lashley falls with a spear to get the win. So the Street Profits get in the ring, and they start beating up on Carlito. Santos gets on the apron and just watches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, given that Carlito was out there not 15 minutes ago throwing out accusations.
But I love the idea that Santos, even on the apron, he's like,
he's conflicted about it.
He is. Yeah. I love that. But then once you flip that switch, man. Ooh.
Yeah. So then Ray comes to the ring with a chair. And that's when, to clear the ring out, that's when Santos finally gets in. And Ray's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And Santos says, believe me, I'm your family, not him, not Carlito. And Ray's like, no, the LWO, we're all one family. And he goes to check on him. And then Santos comes and blasts Ray from behind and then boots Carlito out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then Santos picks up Ray and goes, it was supposed to be us.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be you and me. And then Ray slaps Santos a couple times. Santos goes to the apron, and Ray's like, oh, man, I feel terrible about this. So he goes to Santos, helps him up, and apologizes. But then Santos pushes Ray into the ring post, and Ray lands, so one of his legs is trapped between the post and the steps.
Yeah.
And Santos drop kicks the steps into Ray's leg. Santos says, it was supposed to be us for life, but you made me do this.
Mm-hmm.
So then Zelina runs down, and she's crying. She's selling the moment wonderfully.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And comes to break it up, and Santos leaves.
I think it was Rhea Ripley who got a still of that moment with Zelina crying and then used it in her Twitter bio, in her banner.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Rude. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. Now, if you're Larson, let me ask you this: if you're Rey Mysterio, do you show Santos your loyalty by putting the boots to Carlito with him and saying, "Hey, I'm rolling with you," or are you with Carlito, the guy who just pressed Bobby Lashley? Carlito's so jacked.
I know.
He did the thing with Bobby Lashley. Lashley picked him up, and then Carlito picked up huge Bobby Lashley.
I feel like based on what we know about Ray and his character, he's gonna stand there with Carlito because Carlito wasn't the one who drop kicked some steps into his leg.
That's a good point. Yeah, Santos, number one. Let's be honest. Santos is two guys. Cruz and Wild? Del Toro. Who's Cruz?
Oh, Cruz Del Toro and Joaquin Wild.
That's his
Joaquin
whole
Wild.
name. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Cruz Del Toro, Joaquin Wild, yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
Legado.
Those guys are hapless, right?
Yeah,
you get rid of those guys. Santos just lost the U.S. title fight, and if you watch that back, you can see him almost lay into him.
Well, he wanted to then, yeah.
He wanted to. You also go back, you look at taping him in NXT. He was trying to build an empire. You know, a guy like that, those kind of ambitions, you get rid of him because he's eventually going to do this anyways, you know? So,
it'd be great is if Santos says, Del Toro, Wild, you were great for Legado in the past, but you're out.
Yeah,
you can stay in the LWO.
Yeah.
New Legado.
Who's the new Legado?
Dragon Lee. Come on.
Oh, wow. Dragon Lee. And his buddy Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes.
There you go. The brothers Lee, yeah.
The brothers Lee. Exactly, yeah. I'm Legado now. He's the money guy.
Yeah, he is. He bankrolls the whole operation.
I'm gonna convert these stonks into dinero. That's stupid. Anyways, you know what else is stupid? We've got over how many people watching right now? Over 500 people watching, Larson. But the stupid thing about it is that there's only 115 likes so far. 515 people, 115 likes, 400 big dummies. That's what we're looking at, man. Wow. 400 big dummies. I need you, the Brothers Lee, to hit that like button and the subscribe button, the notify bell. Like, come on. Who keeps on unsubscribing? I'll tell you who. Big dummies. Because right now, we are at 198,244, which admittedly is a couple more than last time. But over the course of the last
like for
30
weeks we've been
days,
spinning our wheels, though.
and a lot of spinning our wheels. Over the last 30 days, we've only gained 12.
What?
Yeah. People have been like unsubscribing. What the
We're
heck?
coming down the end of the year. We have like 6 weeks left. I want to get to 198, 891 by the end of the year. This is very important.
That's not going to happen.
Pardon me?
Well, look, man, I'm trying to be a realist here, because don't look at me like that. Blame the big dummies out there not hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't done that yet, what are you waiting for? Look, man, we just need 6 to get to 250. All right. I just want to can we get 6 subs
By the end
right
of the day,
now?
that's what you want. By the end of the stream, that's what you want.
By the time I'm done berating people, can we get 6 people to sub
I feel
to
like
the
the
channel?
odds are just as, if not higher, that we're going to lose 6 people by the time you're done berating people.
You need to hit the like button, and then you need to hit the sub button if you haven't already. Yeah, who in here is? Oh, we're up to 163, but we're also up to 523 viewers. So look, man,
529 now. More people are coming in.
Gotta hit.
Nary a new sub though. Come on.
Welcome
Maybe everybody
in.
here's already subbed though.
Welcome in. Oh wow, Maggie with the ultimatum saying, Steve, say Seth is better than Cody or I'll unsub. The thing about Steve is no lies told. That's my gimmick, right? No lies here. So I can't say that.
Is this a new thing for you?
No, this is I'm a man of integrity and all that crap. So yeah, even if you're a big dummy who has an Android phone like Mr. Dope who's present here today, I got to deal with these green text messages from Mr. Dope.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't get the value, the wonder of the sticker. Ooh,
You're just all about the sticker.
I love the sticker, man.
You love the sticker.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the difference? This whether you get the green text bubble or the blue. What does it matter?
Oh, well, one is indicative of big dummy. The blue is indicative of, the heightened mind. It's like that meme with the brain that's like all firing and stuff. Anyways. So yeah, that's my
Are you
spiel.
done?
Hopefully it did. No, actually I want to talk about also, we got bonus episodes, question threads, and oh man, that's right. Starting this Saturday, Full Gear Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right. It is Saturday. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm prepared for a 12-hour pay-per-view.
I know, it's like how WWE used to be. Remember, it was like, oh man, going to be an 8-hour
It's like a mania.
pay-per-view.
Now we get 4 manias a year in length for AEW.
Every month now.
Oh gosh, it's every month now. Oh my gosh.
It's every month now. We got a Mania length pay-per-view. Full Gear should be good though. That Hangman Swerve match. That's gonna be a death match now.
It's an experience as longer, if not longer, than WrestleMania for these AEW pay-per-views, isn't it?
Yeah, you got that right. So we got that coming up this Saturday. Of course, we're gonna do our big predictions challenge as well. If you want in on that, it's a Week of Champions 3, right? It's 3, right? Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
Juan Hosey is gonna be putting up his big blue predictions title. And it's very exciting for Juan Hosey. And yeah, the friendos, we're all going to be competing. Noah Holt is going to be walking into the Week of Champions 3, con uno point. That's right, the advantage. I don't know, como se dice advantage en español. No sé. Pero Noah Holt con uno point. I forget exactly how you say point. I know it's close to a curse word, so I'm not going to say.
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
Got to be careful with that one.
Yeah,
here we go. Oh, it is punto. Okay. Not to be.
Okay.
That the end is very important. The end, I know, I'm close, right? The end is very important. Con uno punto de ventaja. The ventaja, I think, is the advantage.
Advantage.
There we go. So, yeah.
There we go.
Anyways, you like my Espanol? Hit that subscribe button. You want a second audio channel with Steve's Espanol?
Oh, gosh. With Esteban?
With Esteban aquí? Hola.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyways,
yeah.
Where were we? After that, we had a Santos.
Oh, Bailey's promo, yeah. So
well,
she says,
hold on. Santos left the arena first.
Oh, yeah, he does that. He has his luggage, and Kathy's like, hey, can I get an interview? Why did you attack Ray? And he just goes, Ray had it coming, and then he leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then we had a Bailey promo. She comes out. This is pretty long, but it's all pretty good stuff. She says, well, we all saw what just happened. Now I have a plan and a vision for EO, because they ran a recap package. For EO and Dakota.
No, I've had a plan. Not now. No, I've had a plan.
She says, no, I've had a plan and a vision for EO and Dakota. Oh, no. Okay. Just no. I've had a plan and a vision for Io and Dakota since the inception of Damage Control. Everything I wanted to come true has come true. WWE Women's Tag Champions, Miss Money in the Bank, and WWE Women's Champion. Io has defeated the best, Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca, and it's obviously Io's era, all thanks to my plan. Crown Jewel should have been Damage Control's proudest moment, but instead, I was saying what because the crowd is whatting her. That needs to go away.
Yeah, that needs to stop.
The only wrestler I think that's appropriate with at this point is probably Pillman Jr. I would say like that's okay. You could what him,
sure,
but
sure.
not a lot of other. Maybe Jericho at this point.
Yeah,
you could what
yeah,
Jericho. Oh, a firm yes from you on that one. Huh?
Yes.
Pillman Jr. and Jericho. They're the only
Hold on
guys.
a second. Sidebar, please.
Sidebar granted.
I know when AEW wrestlers go to other promotions, they always win.
Dude, well, let's talk about this on the Collision recap. We'll talk about it then.
All right.
Looked like a cool match, though. But
Look, I'm sure it was a really good match. That being said, Takeshita should not have lost.
Yeah, it's very confused. Yeah. So Bailey continues. She's like, but I was saying what? Just like all of you at the return of Kairi Sane, and that's not how Damage Control does things. So Io, come out here. So Io comes out. Bailey asks her, because Kairi's out there. And she's like, what is she doing out here? And what was she doing at Crown Jewel? Io, you know I had a plan. I always have a plan. And Io interrupts, says, I had a plan too. It's Io's era, right? She says, I have to thank Kairi for helping me retain my title. Isn't that what you wanted? And Bailey's like, yeah, that's what I wanted. I want the best for both of you. But last time we saw Kairi in WWE, this is what happens. So she throws a video of her beating the shit out of Kairi Sane. And
2020, yeah.
Yeah, Bailey continues. So after watching that, you can understand my concern having Kairi around. So what's going on here? I know how things work around here. I know how minds work. And Dakota interrupts. She says, we didn't bring Kairi into Damage Control to hurt you. So Dakota's in on it. She says, that was never the case. We brought her here to make Damage Control stronger. We know how much you've done for us, and we're very grateful. We just want to take some of the weight off of you. Apparently it worked because Io's still champ. Damage Control stronger than ever. This should be a celebration. This is what she wanted. And Kairi, silent the whole time, says, Bailey, I respect you as leader of Damage Control, and I forgive you. And then she opens her arms for a hug, and Bailey says, I don't do that thing anymore. I don't hug. And then Io and Dakota, it doesn't matter. They all surround her, give her a hug, and she does this. It's
great.
So uncomfortable, and it's kind of amazing.
Great. It was great. So then Bianca's music hit. She walks out to the ramp. She goes, hold on. Kairi might forgive Bailey, but I don't forgive Damage Control. My mistake was believing that Io was confident enough to face me in one-on-one for the title, but oops, my bad. But it's cool because I learned from my mistakes. Tonight, I'm just going to have to whoop all three. And Bailey laughs. Ha! Says Bianca, nobody likes a sore loser. Bianca says, yeah, and a lot of people don't like Damage Control. So Charlotte, her music hits. She walks out to the stage, stand next to Bianca. And then Bianca says, and guess who else was upset about Kairi joining Damage Control? Asuka. She walks down. She stands next to Bianca. She takes the mic and talks to Io and Kairi in Japanese. And then says, nobody is ready for Asuka.
I wonder, and I'm sure it was probably nothing, but how great would it have been if she talked to them in Japanese and said something like, I'm so excited to join you. I'm about to join you.
I know, that'd be great.
And nobody understood it. That'd be kind of amazing. So after that, we had, speaking of amazing, Dragon Lee of the Brothers Lee video package. And then he took on Cedric Alexander. Again, these guys, phenomenal matchup here. Really good stuff. Lee gets the win with a Destino. Glad to see that he's using that on the regular.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
cool.
rad.
Yeah, another great match between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had, LA Knight coming down, the megastar. He says, let me talk to you. Crown Jewel didn't go exactly as hoped for, and I can come out here and tell you I'm sorry. I fell short. I could tell I didn't live up to expectations, but I ain't going to say that tonight because I'd be a damn liar because I did exactly what I'd said I'd do. I walked into this ring. I took Roman within an inch of that WWE title. He always calls it WWE Championship.
Great.
That WWE title. I dropped on his head with a BFT, and I had him 1, 2, 3, if not for Jimmy Uso. Let's go ahead and call it what it was. I got robbed. I ain't going to mince words about that. But Roman Reigns, let me tell you this right now. Take every dollar you got. Give Jimmy Uso a raise. Give Jimmy Uso a promotion. Give him and whatever pleasure you can give him any way you can, because the bottom line is, if he wasn't there, he'd be looking at a new WWE champion right now. So a lot of people might think back to the drawing board. Maybe you just go back to the line, huh? Nah. You got to understand one thing. I'm not done with the Bloodline. Bloodline's not done with me until I own Roman and I own the WWE title. Yeah. Which means I got to take them down piece by piece.
Boom, 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 boom. Waller comes out and says, Law Knight, you're embarrassing yourself, mate. You're blaming everyone but yourself. What I think you need is a little bit of honesty, because the truth is maybe you're just not the guy. But I certainly know someone who is the guy. So he gets in the ring. LA Knight calls him Kangaroo Jackass, and Waller responds, he's a comedian, huh? Well, how about we do an improv Grayson Waller effect, because I've got a question I need an answer for. Do you really think that you belong in the ring with Roman Reigns?
And Knight says, I'll get to that in a second. Let me answer your question with a question of my own. Actually, I got a question for everybody. The Grayson Waller effect sounds like some sort of STD, doesn't it, right? This guy got dropped by a Saudi movie star, Crown Jewel, right? Yeah. And he's out here asking if I belong in the ring with Roman Reigns, huh? Well, I see you got your little $5 haircut here. You're ready to take your school pictures. Good for you. The only problem is I look at you, I get the feeling you're not allowed within 50 yards of a school, you little creep. Let's be serious for a second. You got yourself in a lot of hot water right now because you got a match with me. And how'd you do that? Because you wanted to go around and play on the internet. I guess you can take the boy out of his mother's basement. You can't take the mother's basement out of the boy.
So Waller's upset. He says, I think you need to remember who you're talking to, lad. That's all these people. That ain't me.
And then Knight fires back with, I remember who I'm talking to because you're coming at me with a lot of energy yesterday on X. He calls it X. Matter of fact, I think we call that big incel energy. I'm gonna put it to you like this. While you're worried about whether I belong in the ring with Roman, let's worry about the fact that right now you want to talk a big game on X. You found yourself in here.
Whenever I hear that, it's like, was Grayson Waller talking shit while on drugs?
Oh, yeah, you like the ecstasy. And you feel your face right now. It's very tingly.
Try to find something soft to touch, you know?
Good for you. I'm on Molly. He says, very frustrated me. When that means I'm going to take every bit of anger and frustration out when I stomp your keister into the ground and the whole world tells you whose game this is with everybody saying, and then they say LA, and then Waller takes a swing at LA Knight. Knight hits Waller with the mic, toss him out of the ring, and then dumps KO's water on Waller. So it was a very long promo from LA Knight.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, tell me you're in your 40s without telling me you're in your 40s. You know, the bit about, you can't get within 50 yards of a school. It's like, it's jokes that might have landed 13 years ago.
Yeah.
But like, just don't. Like, I do appreciate two things. Number one, he still refers to it as the WWE title.
Yeah.
And then he still says keister.
Yeah, that's great.
It's so old. I don't know what's next for him. I mean, he's teasing that he's still going to mess with the Bloodline. Then Jimmy has a thing for him.
Well, Logan Paul said something about him recently, too, about LA Knight.
All right. So I don't know. Maggie says, dude, you guys are in your 40s and make way better jokes than LA Knight. There's a certain type that's in their 40s that, you know, I don't know. I know what you're talking. It's just like insults that are left over from his 20s.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like he's been on this grind for so long that he's just bringing these things out. And I can't explain it. He's a guy in his 40s who talks like he grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know,
it sprinkles in some terms that are fairly common today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what
it's like
is.
Steve Buscemi, you know, and that meme.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's like he's someone's dad who's trying to be cool.
And Juan Jose has it right here. He says, "Isn't that part of the charm?" To be honest, it kind of is. But it's like I'll still pick it apart and I'll still be entertained by it because it is sort of like he's like a time capsule.
Yeah, he really is.
He's kind of like a time guy. Like, that's a joke that would totally fly in the Attitude Era. And that's sort of his whole thing, is he's the Attitude Era in person form.
Yeah, made manifest, yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. I saw this interesting thing that we didn't really talk about from about 10 days ago, like in the lead up to Crown Jewel. Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated. Credible guy. said his sources said that there are those in the creative of WWE who believe LA Knight has hit his ceiling. He's peaked. And you and I were, I think, talking about how we, or at least I think, and I think, you never really objected to this, that putting him in there with Roman at Saudi is capitalizing off of him being hot now with the idea that maybe what we're talking about here, the fact that he's kind of attitude era as person, might not lend itself to longevity, to a sustained push. Now, I don't know either way, but I can understand if there are those in WWE who would feel like that's a possibility, and then it's on LA Knight and creative to see if they can milk more out of it, to see if it is a sustainable thing. And I don't know. Time will tell. No idea if he's going to come around to be, a guy who could realistically compete for, a title being held by Cody, a world title being held by Cody, or a world title being held by Seth. He ain't going to be the guy that dethrones Roman. That ain't happening. No. That's not happening. But time will tell if there is a more sustainable thing happening here. And honestly, it could just be a matter of age. When you think of a sustainable push, you're thinking over like 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years, he's 45 already. I forget exactly how. I think he might be 40 on the dot.
He's 40, yeah.
I think. But he's kind of an old 40, at least in presentation and what he's saying. He's in phenomenal shape, obviously, but he looks his years. He does.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
So I don't know.
I don't know. That's the question, and in the past, so many times when someone got themselves incredibly over in a short amount of time, it was like Vince was always so quick to make the call. No, don't see anything. Or let's give it a try. Seemingly more often than not, it was no, don't see anything, and let's try to shove it to the side so we can focus on what we got to focus on. So at least in the Triple H era, they're like, okay, this person, in this case, LA Knight's got themselves incredibly over. Let's see what they got. Let's see what we can do. And can we take the what we got here, this idea, this character, and could we elevate it to the next level or see if that's not possible? And now that he's lost to Roman, now it's really shit or get off the pot time for him. It's prove that you can take it to the next level, forge a deeper connection with the crowd, and flesh out your audience or your character. Or listen, I enjoy one-dimensional oblivious LA Knight.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I enjoy it. I think it's because it's like he's Teflon. Nothing sticks to him.
Yeah, right.
And that's fun. But if you want to start telling some interesting stories with him, there needs to be more there.
I don't know that you're going to get Bailey being freaked out by damage control level of, he
shrugs. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get a Rhea Ripley who's playing all the angles, let alone, or a Sami Zayn or a Jey Uso or a Drew McIntyre the way we see him now. I don't know that you're going to get that level of depth or complexity out of him. And I kind of wonder, do you wonder if that is a prerequisite for Triple H having faith in somebody and their longevity? Because those are like characters that I feel like they want to roll with.
Yeah. Like someone like oblivious one-dimensional LA Knight, as entertaining as he can be, is more of a utility player. Or you can put him in various situations if you want that response to help build up somebody else.
That being said, here's the thing about that. He is also the guy, the crowd might make him undeniable. I think that is entirely possible. If you start hearing more chants than what chants, number one. And number two, if he's put in a situation where he's last four in the Rumble and he gets eliminated and the crowd revolts the way they did against Roman Reigns back in the day and looking for Daniel Bryan, I think it's entirely possible that crowd does not let go of him.
It's entirely possible, yeah.
In which case, because here's the thing, he had a shot against Roman. People, they want to see their favorites get pushed. And if they see him start tumble back down, that crowd might be like, whoa, wait a second.
Nah.
They might be nah.
Huh? Nah.
And so I don't know. I got, Sid, who is a Sid Dro here says Triple H will figure it out. I have a lot of faith in the game, man. I've been a Triple H guy since 1998. I got a lot of faith in this guy. And so I kind of feel like that's true. I think he'll figure it out.
So I think the one clear sign that they're going to try to figure it out is LA Knight got the visual pin on Roman.
That's true too. Yeah.
That crown jewel. If they didn't feel like there was more to do with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have gotten that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that puts the thought in your head, okay, 1-on-1, LA Knight can beat Roman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if they see him as simply a meme wrestler, they're capitalizing on his momentum and his popularity to book a main event, and they're going to move on with them to do something more in the mid-card. I don't know if you put that moment in there, per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe you do, just so it doesn't seem like LA Knight's getting buried, getting humiliated by Roman Reigns in a glorified squash match. But having that moment in there, at least as a viewer, makes me think, okay,
yeah,
they want to keep trying to build him up after this loss, and they got the scintilla depth he has is I've been grinding for 20 years,
which is relatable.
And that's something people can relate to.
It is absolutely, it is.
So if he's, despite the fact that he is a completely one-dimensional for the most part, oblivious character to anything around him.
Mm-hmm.
If the crowd finds him relatable because he's been grinding for 20 years, and then it seems like, all right, he's super popular. He got one opportunity, then back to the mid card. That's what the crowd's going to say.
Now, what they might feel is what you were saying. Your prediction for WrestleMania is, okay, so he's not going to be a world champion guy, but would the crowd be happy with a U.S. title run? If he beats Logan Paul at WrestleMania for that U.S. title, would that satiate the crowd for them to be like, okay, yeah. And if you make a big deal, like, I don't feel
main event
like
night one is what you're saying, right?
What's that?
Main event night one of WrestleMania, U.S. title, that huge of a deal.
Well, I don't know. Maybe main event night two, depending on where he is versus Roman Reigns. But if right now, I don't hear a lot of people complaining about how Gunther is treated. He's Intercontinental Champion. I don't know if there's like, there is not like a groundswell of support for like, oh, have him take on Seth Rollins. It's a different situation because Gunther is a bad guy and he still gets, booed on bad guy heat. But people appreciate Gunther's work.
His route to WWE was vastly different.
It was way different.
He doesn't
so maybe
lose
that's
ever,
bad.
so
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if he gets the U.S. title and has like a really good run with it, that might be enough for people to be like, okay, no, this is he gets a good push here. He beats a lot of people while wearing the U.S. title. He doesn't need to go after the world title. We don't need that for him. And maybe that'll be a happy middle ground for him. I don't know.
That could be, especially if it's a situation where he's got a good U.S. title reign. He's involved in some as interesting a story as you can get with the LA Knight character.
Yeah.
And then people might be content with that. It's entirely possible.
Yeah. So anyways, Knight and Waller have a match too. And Knight wins with the billionaire finger trap. Indeed. And then this is great too because that's when Kevin Owens busts out the telestrator, starts talking about punching Waller in theory at the same time, and he lays it all out there and everything. And then let's see here. After that, so commentary starts talking about. So here's the thing: the actor strike is over. Cena's gone. Yeah. And so that leads to commentary. They do this whole recap of Cena and Solo, a crown jewel. Commentary is talking about whether Cena's career is over, and Kevin Owens has very, very nice things to say about him as well. And then he gets the telestrator out again, talking about punching Waller in Theory, and then Waller and Theory come to ringside. So Theory shoves Kevin Owens, and earlier to be on commentary, Nick Aldis, there was a backstage digital thing that was awesome because Kevin Owens was wearing some Zubaz shorts and a bright green John Cena shirt.
So good.
He shows up. He's like, hey, I don't have a match tonight. That's okay. Sometimes you need a rest. Can I be on commentary? Because Corey Graves is gone. And Nick Aldis like, yeah, but on one condition. You don't get physical with anybody there at ringside. If you do, you're suspended. So that sets this up. That sets up what I imagine is probably Kevin Owens' time off, his vacation. Yeah. So Theory shoves Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is fine with that, but then Waller pours water over his head. And then Kevin Owens smiles. He puts on his headset. He says, I can't stand that he just threw that bottle. You know, I was okay with the water, but he threw that bottle at you, Kevin Patrick. You're my friend. So then it went to commercial, but like I saw on a recap elsewhere, he left commentary, ran up there, and attacked Theory and
It
Waller.
just cut awkwardly to commercial on my feed.
It did the same thing with my feed. I don't know why, if that was like for everybody else too, or just Xfinity customers on the West Coast. I don't know, but that did actually happen. I saw it on. That's one thing about SmackDown that like it's a very like me thing. I don't watch it live. I don't watch it at 5 because it's like Friday night. I'd rather be doing anything else.
Yeah.
I just want my weekend to start. And so I always watch it like on Saturday or Sunday. You know, I get a donut or some pizza or whatever. I'll watch it then. But like, because I'm always on social media, as LA Knight says X, I spoil the entire thing for myself.
Yeah, I know. Same here.
And I kind of hate that I do that for me. It's my fault. It's just my fault.
Yeah.
But it also sort of makes SmackDown, because I watch Raw live more often than I do SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So like Raw is always a bigger surprise to me what happens. By the time I watch SmackDown, I've seen all the clips on Twitter.
Yeah. No, same here. Then we get a Jimmy Uso promo. He says, LA Knight, you say you're not done with the bloodline because I'm not done with you. You want me next week? Yeah. Yeet. And so his phone rings and he picks it up. And it's based on his body language. You can tell it's Roman.
I think he says Tribal Chief.
Yeah. So he hangs up and just says, no yeet.
He's like realized what he said. Then he gets his composure back. Mean mugs the camera. No yeet.
Roman calls because he's watching the show to say, I don't like that.
I don't like that. Fine.
I told you
no
before,
yeet.
I don't like that. We got our main event, Damage Control, taking on Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca. So Bianca's isolated for a good chunk of this match, but eventually she sends Kyrie out of the ring. She reaches to tag in Charlotte, but Kyrie runs over and pulls her off the apron. So then Bianca turns to Asuka to look for a tag, but then Asuka goes down to the floor to check on Charlotte. So Bayley's in the ring. She goes after Bianca. She grabs Bianca by her braid, and then Bianca pulls her in for a spine buster. And then she leaps at Asuka to get the tag, but Asuka pulls her hand back. And then Miss Bianca kicks her in the head. She waves to Kyrie. They hug.
Yeah.
Io comes in. She joins in on the hug, and they're all waving to Bayley. Come on in. And then they all hug.
Yeah.
But then Charlotte breaks it up with the boot to Kyrie. Damage Control eventually overwhelms Charlotte. Shotzi comes to the ring to try to make the save. She tackles Bayley. She's overwhelmed by Damage Control. Eventually, Bayley hits Shotzi with the Rose Plant. Io hits Charlotte with a moonsault. Bianca gets up. Guess what? She's overwhelmed by Damage Control. And then Kyrie hits her with a back fist and then an insane elbow. And Damage Control stand tall to end SmackDown.
And again, the only person surprised by Asuka's turn is Bayley. Oh, I love it. I love this. It's going to be so good. I'm so looking forward to this because Triple H finally he's there and he's going to give Bayley something really good to work with. And Bayley's like one of those who, no matter what she's ever given, she kills it. She absolutely does a great job. So imagine her getting something that's actually really good.
I know.
I'm looking forward to this. So like, if you do the math on this, you got Damage Control. It's 4 people who are cleared anyways, Bayley and Io, Asuka, and Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then you got Bianca, Charlotte,
Shotzi. Yeah.
So that leaves one more for
I'm not going to say because I want to be spoiled. There was a report out about who the 4th would be.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just say
I read about the men's
somebody
stuff.
from Raw.
Did I read about the women's? I won't spoil it if I remember it, but it'll be another surprise for me until I read it. I'm like, oh, that's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like that's the makings for a War Games, or maybe. I mean, I'd prefer a War Games because, goddamn, the participants in that match, that'd be nuts. I guess they could go standard elimination, but I don't want to see that, man. You're gonna give the dudes a War Games match. You got to give the women a War Games match too.
Exactly.
They did that last year, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had both. Yeah.
And they did in NXT. You know, I think after the first one, then they had men's and women's War Game matches. Yeah. There was also a collision on this weekend. This Friday, they're going head to head. How do you think that's going to go?
Probably not good. Probably not good for Collision.
Probably not. Collision
SmackDown on
3 hours.
SmackDown's on FS1. Are they SmackDown on FS1?
No, they're on Fox.
Oh, they're on the network? Oh.
Yeah, World Series is over, man.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's 3 hours of AEW. You get Collision and then Rampage. Bang, bang.
Oh, back to back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's first collision after Full Gear.
I mean, the first collision, the collision before Full Gear. It's a go-home show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's this Friday.
Go-home show.
This Friday.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, well, you know what? You could just phone that one in. Just everybody, just do a bunch of recap packages,
Like,
let people heal up.
We're going to get shellacked in the ratings.
Yeah.
Phone it in.
Right. Exactly.
Because, for once, I felt like Tony Khan had an announcement. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So, it was a 2-part announcement. First, I'm guessing they're kind of going to be setting this up for Bryan Danielson's more or less full-time retirement match, because they announced that he's going to be at All In 2024.
Yeah, right.
And apparently his contract expires next September, I want to say. So connect the dots. This is going to be more or less his retirement match as a full-time competitor.
You think they're going to give him a title run, like a world title run leading up to that? He'll drop it there?
I don't know. Part of me wonders if they're going to do the rematch with Zack Sabre Jr. at All In next year and have Sabre go over.
That'd be a waste. Give him the title. Have somebody cool pick up the title. Have Swerve take it off him.
I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be great.
Right? That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
Or heel Cole, something like that.
And they also announced that we're getting more or less AEW's G1. It's Continental Classic, 12-wrestler round-robin tournament. The finals of the tournament are going to be taking place at World's End. And they said Bryan Danielson, despite the fact that, a matter of a couple weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, he broke his orbital bone. He's in the tournament. He's got a patch over his eye still. I imagine his will be the last first-round match that happens.
Yeah, probably.
Well, actually, no, it's not. It's round-robin, so you can't do that.
It's round.
He's got to wrestle 5 matmatches between now and the end of the year.
It's basically like the G1 for...
Well, 6. Probably 6, because he's going to win his block.
Yeah. 12 wrestlers. How many are in the G1? Like 28?
It depends. It sometimes like 24.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 16. It varies.
It's like a baby G1.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Be some good wrestling.
There's always good wrestling.
So
if they can do it, if they can tell a tournament-wide story on par, anything close to what Gato comes up with the G1, which is still like the most impressive feat each year in wrestling.
Especially as the field gets larger and larger.
Like there's so much math involved with that thing.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. I think last year there was 4 blocks. There was A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And there was 24 or 32 competitors. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
So there's drama coming down to the end in every block.
I know. Yeah. Dude, no, it's
always a really
always
impressive
like
feat.
super compelling stuff. Yeah, man.
Otherwise, Collision was fine. It was really focused on wrestling. It wasn't a whole lot of long talky bits.
Yeah, I like Collision. Collision's fun.
Hey, we got to see Titus Alexander on AEW television.
I know. That was neat. I wonder if his dad helped train Hobbs. Because Big Ugly's he's trained a bunch of people out here, I think.
He has.
He's got a dojo out here.
Yeah,
that wouldn't shock me. That's neat. He's in Titus is doing some stuff in Noah right now.
Oh, that's very cool.
He went to Japan with Alpha Zoe.
So according to Wikipedia, it doesn't say that Hobbs was trained by Big Ugly.
Well, they're all NorCal people, so I figured maybe.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't if it wouldn't have surprised me. I mean, I'm sure he's worked with Big Ugly before in the past.
Well, I think we've been at a show where they worked together. If I'm not mistaken, we went to a Supreme Pro Wrestling show.
Yeah, that Hobbs
where he was like half his size that he is now. Big Ugly was probably on that show.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Speaking of which, hey, December 2nd, Action Coast Wrestling returns, this time to Pacheco, California. I might be there. Larson's confirmed he's not going to be there.
Yeah, I can't make it.
But we need a new world champion because Alpha Zoe has vacated his title. He's off to Japan. Bigger and better things. Well, different things. There's no bigger and better in ACW. So, yeah. I might be there, and we're going to be crowning a new world champion there in ACW. We got I think it's like a fatal 5-way. Joe DeSoul, boo. I think Johnny Butabi's in it, boo. Brooke Havoc, doing awesome things out here.
Yeah, she's great.
And then this new cat, Ezra, that I have not seen in Action Coast before. And then one other person. Who is it? One other person. Oh, man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I forgot who it is. But yeah, Action Coast Wrestling. You can check out the tickets on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yes. December 2nd. That's a Saturday. We have a social media person, so I forget who actually is in this thing. Who is it? DJ Fresh. He's cool. Yeah, he's in. Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
So that's good stuff.
That's gonna be a great match. Check it out. December 2nd, Action Coast Wrestling. Otherwise, yeah, Collision was fine. Apparently Andrade gave CJ Perry an answer, and that would be an affirmative. Because as of now, until Miro does something about it, CJ Perry is Andrade's manager.
So Miro seemed to look on approvingly. What if that's all? It was like, you know what? I know you can do good things. You just need a good, wrestler to manage. And it ain't Nemeth.
It ain't Action Andrade.
It's not Action Andrade.
Andretti,
it's actual
Andrade. Yeah.
It's not Action Andrade.
Between them about
it's actual Andrade.
Yes. Are you gonna find the right client for your managerial services? No. I'm gonna beat them down.
Right. Exactly.
Find someone who's worthy of your immense talent, CJ. Carry on.
It's not Action Andrade.
It's Action Andretti. So yeah, I don't know where this is going. Is it a situation where Miro is watching backstage and kind of laughed and smiled? It's like, oh, this is who I have to wreck now. It's Andrade.
A real challenge. Okay? A real challenge.
I know, exactly.
That's going to be a good match whenever that happens.
That's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
Great match.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's going to be a good one. I like that. I like the good solo feuds. Enough of these multi-man feuds.
Yeah, give me a good intense one-on-one. I want to talk about this. Yeah, we've been highly critical of a lot of AEW's creative direction for a while.
Who,
for
a
year plus.
No, not at all.
I appreciate that with this thing they've been doing with the TBS title is starting to come together. Where at Full Gear you got Statlander defending a triple threat match. Julia Hart's one of the opponents, and there's a match between Sky Blue and Red Velvet. It might be on Dynamite or Collision next week. Determine the other opponent. Of course, Sky Blue is going to win that match.
Yeah, and Julia Hart's going to win the title.
Yes, she is, because maybe this is like a whole long con from Julia Hart's part where Sky Blue is going to help her win. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be kind of awesome, too.
It is going to be.
Julia Hart's doing really, really good work right now.
Yeah.
You're right. I like this new nucleus of the TBS title stuff. I think it's really good. Yeah. And then you have something completely different on the other side of the women's division with Toni Storm doing her crazy character with Hikaru Shida buying into it. I like that. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that it was announced that Hangman and Swerve have a Texas Death Match.
Yeah, guaranteeing that Page is going to win that because he's undefeated in Texas Death Matches in AEW.
Well, also he's 0-1 against Swerve, and they're going to do a trilogy. I would assume it's a trilogy.
I would assume so. It should be.
Should be.
His promo on Collision was really good. It was solid.
Their first match was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah. No, I like this. It's just a good old fashioned traditional pro wrestling feud.
Yeah.
You throw a death match in there.
There's not a whole lot of extra bells and whistles to it, but it's really solid stuff with two good characters.
So that's going to be a contender for match of the night. What else is going to contend for match of the night? No. For a second, I was like, oh, wait, Young Bucks and Kenny. Oh, no, Jericho. Never mind.
No. Gosh. Okay, let's talk about that now. You brought it up.
Oh, man. All right.
Maybe you're trying to avoid this conversation. I'm not.
Yeah.
So you got Takeshita, who over the summer, early fall, got not one, but two pinfall victories over Kenny Omega, one of the cornerstones of all elite wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who apparently is like, we need to build for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I will lose to Takeshita not once but twice. And what has Takeshita done since then? Stand in the background.
Not a whole lot.
He's done a whole lot of nothing in AEW. So they booked this match with him and Jericho. 1-on-1 in DDT Pro. It happened this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I understand when AEW talents wrestle outside of AEW, it's like 85% of the time the AEW talent goes over. I get it. What is Takeshita, someone who it seemed like at a point they were building up to be a cornerstone of their future, what does it do for him to lose this match?
I don't have an answer.
What does it do for the story they're trying to tell? Which
isn't Takeshita an AEW talent at this point?
Yes, he is.
So the whole logic of an AEW talent beating a non, I mean, they're both AEW talents.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but this is Takeshita's home promotion prior to AEW.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. I understand that, but it was in DDT Pro, so that's Takeshita's turf.
I mean, I guess. Look, man, I don't want to defend this, but you're going to kind of make me defend it. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but maybe the idea is Takeshita has gotten like a ton of wins over the Golden Jets team. This is one they can get. Because here's the thing, the Callis family is going to beat them they got a match on Dynamite.
The street fight, I know.
They got the street fight on Dynamite.
Yeah, I know.
So the Callis family has to win that. So it's just go home math.
No, not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of it either. I'm just saying like we're not there booking it, and the people who are booking it.
I think the one of the emphasis of the street fight is going to be Hobbs and Paul White.
Paul White's not going to win this thing, is he?
I mean, no, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't. I agree. He shouldn't.
It'd be all the more confusing to have Jericho beat Takeshita in DDT and then have the Golden Jets and Ibushi and Paul White beat the Callis family, and this is the blow-off.
Man, I don't know. The whole thing is, here's the thing. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I think there is rhyme or reason in their heads. I think that Jericho beating him is just sign that the Callis family is going to win the street fight. Who do you think's going to win the street fight?
I honestly don't know. I mean, Hobbs should go in there, rip everybody in half, and then pin them all. That's what it should be.
Right, yeah.
What it should be.
Just a bunch of limbs. He pins a bunch of limbs.
Yeah, it's just he should go and dominate and pin everybody.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I worry it's going to be Hobbs dominates for a while. He eats one punch from Paul White, and then Paul White goes over, and it's going to drive me nuts if that happens.
They really couldn't have used the word giant as his name.
Oh, the Giant?
Yeah. Probably not, huh? Because WWE trademarked that for wrestling.
Maybe Paul the Giant. The Giant Paul.
That's Giant Paul, like Bill
Call
Big.
him Tall Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Giant. Like Paul, you keep on saying his name, Paul White. It's just weird. Sounds like an accountant's name.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like intimidating at least.
I mean, I know what it should be, but I think the Callis family is going to win this match on Wednesday.
Believe it when I see it.
I guess me too. I don't know. They have to. Well,
they've won basically everything else though in this feud.
I know, right? And Hobbs already beat Jericho, but then why would Jericho beat Takeshita? Cal's family has to win on Wednesday, man.
Listen, Takeshita's beat Omega twice. Omega's a way better wrestler and like 30 years younger than Jericho, all right?
He's 30 years young. he's like 10, but that's hilarious.
He's 10 years younger. I know. Well, 10 or 12.
Great.
So by that logic, Takeshita should have annihilated Jericho like Hobbs did.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. He made him tap out, though. He didn't even get the pass out. He got the tap out.
I know.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
I don't know. Jericho was feeling. Maybe, he saw the little clip of him and his Fozzy
the momentum
group.
vampire, dude. That's what it is.
Went viral. It was pretty funny. Him doing a little dance up there on stage.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Does a little spin.
And it does a spin.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. You're right. It's a mess. It's funny because when you were saying, oh, yeah, I guess Miro and Andrade are going to have a thing. Are they, though? Are they?
They could have told a 3-4 month story with Hobbs and Miro. It didn't happen.
Oh, that would have been good, too. The Book of Hobbs versus the Redeemer. Yeah, that'd have been awesome. That'd have been good.
Fantastic. Didn't happen, though.
Anyways, have we started the recap here?
No, we haven't. I've been complaining about Chris Jericho beating Takeshita for too long.
Oh, hell.
Maybe it's the situation that I didn't find Jericho like completely, utterly like freaking boring these days.
Boy, how we've turned around on him. We've done like the opposite of what a Steve usually is. We've turned on a guy. Yeah. We were singing his praises before, man.
Well, you more so than me. I'd always think like,
whoa.
I would.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? You're going to do that to me? No solidarity here.
Facts.
Interesting. Okay. Every man for themselves here at Going in Raw, apparently. Oh man, no. Hey, look, I turned on him too. We'd really do. God, we should really do a list wrestlers we've turned around on or something.
Maybe
Because it's gonna be like everybody that I've hated and then liked, and then Chris Jericho, which is the opposite.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think. Are there wrestlers when we've been like, oh, I love this guy, and then I guess Hogan. He was my first piece of like wrestling merch. NWO Hogan. I used to be very pro Hogan.
Yeah, you used to NWO Hogan. You were.
Can't be pro Hogan anymore though.
No, fuck Hulk Hogan.
It's taboo. Fuck Hulk Hogan Day every day.
Every day.
I did on a Wrestle Juice video though, in a tournament bracket thing. I did call him as like the GOAT champion of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over Stone Cold, really?
Stone Cold, over Rock, over Cena, over everybody.
Is it just WWE champions or
The WWE champions, yeah.
WWE champions, yeah. But so you didn't include like Flair or Luthez or
Flair was WWE champion.
But I mean, like in terms of
No, but like Luthez,
world champions, like kind of like all-time world champions.
Hogan would beat all those guys.
Well, if he had his
He'd
critical
beat all
control,
those
yeah.
guys. What are you talking about? WWF is everything, man. So anyways, it opened up with all the promo stuff. Darby, Sting, and Edge had a promo. Edge calls himself an iconoclast.
Yeah, he used to have a shirt that said that on there.
Right, yeah. Do you think he knows what an iconoclast is?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he probably does. Do you think
think
he's
he
an
does.
iconoclast? Somebody who challenges like authority, I think is sort of.
No,
what
not
he
at
is.
all.
No, I don't think he is either.
No.
Yeah.
Exact opposite.
Then the Righteous cut a promo. I forgot what they said, but they didn't reference having one dude's head up the other guy's ass.
No, I don't think they're going to talk about that at all.
LFI cut a promo where Preston
Man,
Vance.
Roosh is so fucking good.
He's awesome. He's great.
Gosh, he's one of those guys that makes everything feel real.
I know, dude. Did you see that fucking God? He did like a corner. What is it? Missile drop kick.
Yeah, his finisher. Yeah,
Holy shit!
yeah. He always looks like he kicks the shit out of the other person.
And I think he does. If that doesn't look like it, he does it. I like Preston Vance had one line in this promo too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the tag titles, and then okay, back to Roosh now. Come on,
Roosh is so good. Gosh
He
darn
is.
it.
He
One of the
is.
most believable
Scary.
guys in all of wrestling. Gosh, he's so
Scary.
good.
And then Hobbs and Callis. And I'm just thinking, Hobbs, why do they just put you with everybody? That's
Sorry, John Chambers here says in chat, Steve is going to turn around on Pillman Jr. Now, that'd be something else.
oh, I'm gonna be pro Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
You know, if he keeps on giving us so many meme worthy moments, like, yeah, I'm
Good.
obsessed with watching Harden Clipper clips these days.
Oh, like when he airballs that three?
Oh
After cleaning
God,
off
it's
his
my
shoes?
favorite thing in the world. And I have no idea if that plus minus shit was real, but it also wouldn't surprise me.
I mean,
they're
they haven't
like,
won a game since he's joined the team. So it
they're like
wouldn't surprise
0-6, I think.
me. Yeah.
God damn it. And Teron Lou keeps on making excuses for him. Oh, man. I wish. God, I miss the Enforcer so much because
I
he was a
know.
Clippers fan.
I know.
Oh, we'd be belly like my sides would be hurting hearing him talk about Harden. They'd
I know.
be hurting.
They would be.
I miss
Oh
him so
my
much. I miss him so
yeah, I do
much.
too.
Garcia had a promo. Hey, I'm gonna be dancing because I had the most important match in my career. Now I'm gonna face Andrade, and I'm gonna lose, and then I'm gonna dance. And then Andrade says, "Everybody wants to know if CJ is my manager. You'll find out now." And then they do that match. Andrade gets the win. CJ does in fact come out with him. She is in fact his manager.
Mm-hmm.
And Miro's happy about that.
Yeah. Yes. Or is he?
Or is he?
And if he's happy, why?
Why
Is he happy? It was a really good match, though. But yeah, Andrade gets the win with the figure 4, bridges up for the figure 8, drops a woo in there before putting it on,
Ooh.
and Garcia taps, and then CJ gets in the ring. They celebrate. You cut to Miro backstage, and he's like, "But is he?" Although, as in, I got a challenge here now.
Or sexy man 3-way. Maybe.
Then we got Nick Wayne versus Dalton Castle.
Mr. Dope's favorite wrestler, Dalton Castle. I was showing him clips of Dalton Castle not long ago. He was like, "This is the guy.
He is the guy. He's
This
wildly
is the guy.
entertaining.
Push him to the moon."
Yeah.
Nick Wayne got the win here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hit Wayne's World. That springboard cutter deal.
Wayne's World.
Party time. Excellent. Luchasaurus gets involved. Choke slams the boys. Christian walks up the stairs to distract Dalton Castle a bit. And then Wayne sends Castle into the post, follows with Wayne's World to get the win.
Yeah.
And then we got the Hangman promo.
Yeah, he says, it's a shame when you think about it. Swerve, the things you could have done. I wrestled Dream. It took Nana. It took his crown, but you had me beat. You could have taken my spot. You could have challenged for the world title, but what you decided to do instead was the biggest mistake you could have made in your sad, pathetic, meaningless life. Swerve, when you opened the door and crossed the threshold into my home, you stepped into my empty home. My wife sleeping deeply. So deep she didn't know an entire camera crew came in there.
Maybe she's got one of those white noise things.
That could be.
It was just really loud.
Extra silent child who sleeps also very deeply. He says, when you open the door and cross the threshold into my home, you step through the gates of hell. Wow, that's a hell of a way to refer to your house. As at Full Gear, I take you down. I take you down to the fiery abyss for eternity because at Full Gear, you've got the Hangman in a Texas death match. If I had to give you one piece of advice in this next week that you've got, I'd tell you to take some time to walk around Swerve's house until you've looked at every photo on the wall, pictures of your mom, your dad, your kids, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles. And I want you to imagine every single precious moment you have with them. Every birthday, every prom, every funeral, every wedding. I want you to know that you'll never be there. Not while you can walk. Not while you can talk. Swerve at Full Gear, I take you to the bottom. I take you to the abyss. I leave you in a fire for eternity, and I want you to know that every November, I'll walk with my son hand in hand and will pay you a visit and piss on your grave. Swerve Strickland, what could have been. Good promo.
It was
really
a good
promo.
It was really good.
Me and my son are going to go pee-pee on your grave.
And then we had the Workhorsemen versus LFI, also known as Rush's Incredible Wrestler.
Yes, yeah.
Gosh.
Gee whiz. This guy just killed me.
Everything feels real, probably because he works really snug.
Yeah, I think it's clearly because he just doesn't relent. He just beats the shit out of people.
God, he's so good. It's
kind of great.
He's so good. So he gets the win here. Bull's Horn on JD Drake, and then the House of Black show up, and Malachi says, wow, you guys must be hard of hearing. Perhaps we've not been direct enough despite all the beatings. How about this? How about we obtain the one thing you desire the most in this company and make you chase it? And then Brody says, the enemy of our enemy is also our enemy. So Big Bill, Ricky Starks at Full Gear, the Kings of the Black Throne are coming for the tag titles. And Julia says, Willow, Sky, you two keep rejecting my gift. I'm not sure why, Chris, you keep interjecting yourself into my business. So how about this? It's not in Collision. Me and Willow, I beat her. You have to give me a rematch for the TBS title at Full Gear.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. So now the Kings of the Black Throne are coming for the tag titles, though.
Yeah.
So it's like
Malachi and Brody.
They had the trios.
They did.
Now they're going for this one. And so after this, maybe Malachi will finally get his
world
singles.
Title.
Yeah. Well, he'll start
Malachi versus MJF. That'd be a good feud.
I'll start at the TNT title, and then I will go for the international title. Then
they're going to have a feud with Hook for the FTW title.
Oh, shit. That first.
For the world title. Then the international. Then the cable channel title.
Yes.
And then world title. So sometime in 2028 or so.
By the time he's back in WWE, probably.
Yeah, exactly. After that, we had Statlander and Willow Nightingale in an interview. Lexi asks Chris Statlander about the TBS title picture. She says, look, all I can say is I don't trust Julia's antics. We never know what's going to happen with her, but if anyone deserves a shot at this, it's you, Willow. You've been a great friend, and I wish you luck. As far as Sky and Red go, no comment. Because Sky already said, don't talk about me.
Yeah.
Then we had Roderick Strong. This is like one of the most entertaining acts right now, man.
Oh, it really is.
They wheel out
Absolutely.
Roderick Strong in the wheelchair, bring him to the foot of the steps, and him literally just standing up gets a standing ovation.
It's so good.
It is. He gets in the ring, ends up getting the win here with a end of Heartache. Really good match. Kingdom get in the ring, quickly put the neck brace back on for him, hoist him on their shoulders. He rolls out of the ring into his wheelchair. Bennett hits Martin with the wiener punch. Kingdom hit him with a double team pile driver. Action Andrade runs to the ring to make the save.
Yep. Then we got Tony Khan and Bryan Danielson making a couple announcements first. Bryan Danielson is going to be at All In 2024. Bryan considers this year's installment of All In, the greatest pro wrestling show he's ever seen. He can't wait to be part of All In 2024, and that's when they, after that, announced the Continental Classic. 12 superstars, round-robin tournament. Finals go down at World's End. Bryan Danielson's in that tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we got Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. It's a fun match. They gave it a good amount of time.
Yeah, they gave this plenty of time.
Like 12, 15 minutes, I thought.
I know. That was rad.
That's
good
awesome.
stuff.
Awesome. Julia Hart gets the win here. She was working over Willow's arm, so towards the end of the match, Willow tries to go for a doctor bomb. Her arm gives out. Later on, goes for another. Hart escapes that, hits a sliding lariat, follows with a moonsault to get the win. So she'll be one of the two competitors facing Chris Statlander at Full Gear.
Full Gear, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably winning that title.
I imagine she will. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. After that, we have Big Bill and Ricky Starks in an interview. Bill Big, Lexi asks how they feel about all the teams coming after their title. And Ricky says, big groan. We don't want to be bothered by these people whatsoever. And Bill says, yeah, we don't want to see you. We don't want to talk to you. Don't get near us in catering. We don't want to get in the ring with you. You come up to us at the coffee bar, try to make small talk. We skedaddle. Stay the hell away from us, okay? Going forward, we're not going to talk to you. We don't want to see you. We're sure as hell not going to wrestle you. So Lexi's like, okay, well, funny you say that because Tony Khan has told me you're going to defend that title, those titles, in a fatal four-way at Full Gear. And Stark says, how do you know that before us? That's a situation we need to handle off camera. That's great. That's so funny that they know before us. The story of our freaking lives. But just like that story seems to open up every chapter that we have, we know how to finish these chapters. I'm going to tell you like this. It's going to end with me and Bill Big remaining tag champions. You can have friendships for 10, 20 years. It doesn't matter when it comes to the two baddest dudes in this company coming together to become the longest reigning tag champs ever.
Lofty goals.
Yeah, what's the longest reign? Do we know? Like roundabout? Is it the Young Bucks?
I think it's the Young Bucks. Then we got Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Titus Alexander. It's great to see two phenomenal talents from Northern California getting some exposure on national television. It's too bad this was a squash match because Titus Alexander is phenomenal. He's going to be a household name in 5-10 years.
He will
so
be
good.
Yeah, well, he's doing his time in Japan right now.
Yeah.
He'll be a hugely sought-after talent, I believe.
I imagine so. So Paul White's on commentary for this match. It's a pretty short bout. Titus runs into a spine buster. Hobbs follows with the world's strongest slam to get the win. And then as the refs count the pinfall, and afterwards, Hobbs is just staring at Paul White. So Callis gets the ring and drops a promo and says, I have one thing to say.
No, you don't. You've got a lot. This is a really long promo.
It is. He says,
and the best part about it was when a lady that off screen said he looks like a hot dog. She said, you look like a hot dog.
His greatest family in pro wrestling history. He mentions Briscoes, Von Erichs, Harts. Talks about the street fight. It says Hobbs broke Chris Jericho. So what did Jericho do? He went and called his last friend in the wrestling business. Paul, you're a stand-up guy. So when Jericho called, he said, anything you need. He says, Paul, you won the genetic jackpot in terms of your size. But I'm thinking you got shortchanged in the brains department because only an idiot would face us after we already have done to Jericho, Omega, and Ibushi. Again, that would have made a lot more sense if Takeshita had beaten Jericho.
Yeah, granted.
Says, but Paul, you're a smart guy. You can still change your mind. You know what Jericho is. He's going to use you like he tried to use me. So, Paul, if I can be serious for a minute, it's not too late to pull the pin and leave Jericho hanging. What, you got nothing? Look, guys, I think I just saw something I haven't seen before. Scared giant. It's okay to be scared of me because I run things around here. I think I might have to do something, or I might have to do a little something. I want to remind you that I've buried 2 giants in my career, and I might have Hobbs bury a third for me. So, Hobbs, smoke this fool is what he says. And so Hobbs goes up and pushes the announce table a little bit into Paul White. Paul White stands up, and then Kyle Fletcher and Don pull Hobbs away. So we get no fight.
Yeah, no fight happens. Oof. I don't know how this is going to turn out.
Someone made a good point. I think it was in YouTube chat that since Kenny is kind of like front and center of this promotion for this video game, that the Golden Jets got to get the win here.
What if
and then Brian Cage is in it because Sammy's not cleared yet.
Oh.
So Brian Cage is probably taking that L.
What if, how about this? What if Kenny turns on like these losers that he's with and joins the Callis family? because him and Callis are close.
Oh, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, man.
No, it's a terrible idea. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it is sort of. Would be kind of on brand with this whole situation.
It would be, because it's been an absolute mess.
It has been.
Mess. This has been such a mess that I can't believe I didn't remember that Takeshita signed a deal with AEW. Which actually makes it more beguiling why he lost, because, all right, if Jericho's the AEW guy, AEW guys go elsewhere and win all the time. That's just what happens. But they're both AEW guys.
It's the go-home math, because Cal's family's got to win here.
But they're not going to, because Kenny's the video game promotion
I don't care about the video game stuff. I don't know. That'd be weird. Like video game promotion. Oh, well, the good guy has to, the face of the promotion. I don't think that would be the reason. I think I would put it more on like just bad booking than I would like a video game promotion.
I mean, also, aside from Jericho beating Takeshita, Kenny and Jericho have not won anything in this feud. Anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is like the blow-off thing, and then they'll win.
Yeah,
they might do Hobbs and Paul White have a match, but otherwise, it feels like this should be it, because it's been going on for so long and it hasn't really done much.
If Hobbs and Big Show are off on their own during the street fight, and Hobbs is ripping Big Show apart limb by limb, and elsewhere Kenny picks up the win over Takeshita, and Hobbs is like, "Wait a second, I was killing this guy," and then he turns on the Callis family, rips them limb from limb. And then in a singles match, beats Big Show, and then Cage, and then the Fletcher guy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be okay. I'd be okay with that.
All right.
I'd be okay with that.
Well, it's Brian Cage taking the pin, probably.
Yeah, I know, but Hobbs he beats him later.
No, you just said Kenny pins Takeshita. I'm just saying then Kenny will pin Brian Cage.
Well, if it's the blow-off, doesn't Kenny have to get a win on Takeshita at some point? No? Nah, we're good.
Then we got an FTR interview here. You can do Dax in a second.
Oh, shit. And then also Review King here in Twitch chat has a good point. Kenny and Jericho are on the pay-per-view. They got to win this.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're winning this. Oh, no.
I know,
because the bottom line is you have this big return of the Big Show. The big return always wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, all the more confusing it is for Takeshita to lose.
Do you want to do cash here for FTR?
Yeah, I'll do cash. We've been in a little bit of a roll, but let's not forget last week when LFI left us to get beat down to Starks and Big Bill. You took advantage of an injured FTR and got our AEW tag titles. Let's not forget the House of Black. You stuck your nose in our business. That doesn't fit well with FTR.
This is Dax, by the way. 10-time tag champs. 7-star FTR. There's only one. That's us. It doesn't matter. The distraction from the House of Black, me trying to feed my family, our one focus, me feeding family doing podcasts. Our one goal is to be AEW tag champs. As long as we don't have to lose the Young Bucks. It doesn't matter if it's LFI, House of Black, our road to the AEW tag titles for a third time starts now. Top guys out. Us fighting Young Bucks. Not going to happen. That's out. We're not going to lose to them. We got one up on them. CMFTR out.
And then we got our main event, Lance Archer and the Righteous. I feel like a faction, a new stable with a lot of potential. No, they job him out right away to Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, Sting.
Depth guys.
Yep.
Everybody dies.
Man, Lance Archer's so much fun to watch, though. He goes out there beating up security guards and young lions. And
why does he have to be eliminated here, man?
I know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know. And he got Jake Roberts. He had that cool jacket.
Potential's there for a good faction.
The problem is, there is the problem. Part of this faction, in fact, 2/3 of this faction is a couple of guys who lost to one guy, and that one guy shoved their heads up their asses.
But what better way to rehabilitate them after that humiliation, embarrassment?
It's a long road.
And to have him team with Lance Archer, everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Jake Roberts,
Caesar,
and to start destroying people.
It's a long road.
I don't think so. A, it was one match. B, it was against the world champion. C, it was on the kickoff show and no one watches it.
You can't go from guys who had a head shoved up an ass straight up to beating the iconoclast Edge.
No, I'm not suggesting they should have won this match. They should have won another match, and Edge and Darby and Sting should have fought somebody else.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's my point.
Hey,
this is a warm-up match for them for Full Gear because they got the trios match against Christian and Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne.
Oh, you're
This
saying
is a
they shouldn't
tune-up
be
for them.
They shouldn't be tune-up guys.
No, Lance Archer and the Righteous. Well, Lance Archer shouldn't be tune-up guys.
No, he should not be a tune-up guy.
No.
But they're kind of like.
I mean, really, Andrade versus Daniel Garcia probably should have been the main event of this show because that was like the best match.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. What do you think about Garcia losing all these matches? He needs to go to NXT quickly.
Oh, I feel like there's a story that's being told with him losing all the time.
What? There ain't no story
I don't
being
know.
told.
Maybe not.
The story's going to be him going to NXT. That's what the story
Maybe
is.
because that's Steve's cure for everything.
It is. Ethan Page needs to go there. Garcia needs to go there. Young
Page
talent
got
Scorpio
jacked.
Sky needs to go there.
Jacked.
Who, Page? Oh, he's jacked. He looks like friggin' Hogan.
Yeah. 27-inch pythons, however large Hogan's arms were. So anyways, Edge speared Vincent to get the win here after Sting hit Vincent with a Stinger splash. Afterwards, Edge and Sting and Darby are celebrating. The Christian walks out the stage with Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, and Christian holds up that TNT title.
And there you go. You want to answer some questions?
Let's answer a few. Oh my gosh, we've gone almost an hour and 40 minutes on this show.
I love it. Podcast, a real podcast right there.
A real
man.
podcast.
It's not a real podcast.
Our
Podcast. 3
podcast.
hours. That's so 2020.
Keith here asks, if CM Punk returns to WWE, would it be as big of a moment as August 1 warning reveal? No. Absolutely not.
That was a good turn there. I was like, oh, is he going to say it's going to be as big of a moment as the first dance? No, instead he went
August
with the
1
most
warning revealed. Identity revealed.
Identity revealed. Is Pulse going to be in the audience? Let's see.
Frozen tape. If this leads to a War Games match with Damage Control, should Jade debut in that match?
Ooh.
That would be a high-profile debut and not exactly saying, yes, she's going to be on this brand, per se. But she should be on SmackDown so she can have a match against Charlotte at WrestleMania and win.
That's a good point. I'll stay away from commenting further, given that there's apparently spoilers out there. White Brownie says, now that Damage Control has become a super faction, do you guys think that will help extend Io's reign even more? Or do you think she'll lose it before Mania? I think it's going to extend it. I think it's going to be the A story of like the women's division on SmackDown anyways. Yeah. I mean, it is, so. But yeah.
Her and Bailey, yeah. Feuding.
Let me ask you this. This is a Steve question.
Yes, Steve.
If we were a basketball podcast,
uh-huh,
who would be the Punk Daily?
You know the answer.
It's Harden, right?
It is Harden, of course.
Harden Daily.
Yeah. Of course it's James Harden. Of course.
I'm just making sure that somewhere out there is there's an alternate universe where we're a basketball podcast.
Yeah.
And like every day I'm just whipping up James Harden thumbs. I Am the System would have done 60,000.
Oh, great numbers.
Dylan Brooks. No, Dylan Brooks, he's not the name. He would be our going in Raw. Well, I don't know. Harden might be our going in Raw basketball player of the year.
At this rate, yeah. This point in his career might be. Blake Whitehouse here asked, besides Omega versus Okada and Jarrett versus Sid, what matches could happen on Rampage to get you both to watch it?
I've heard good things about Rampage lately.
I've heard that too.
Collision would have to be canceled.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Born to Run. Oh, Anthony F. content says, I've been loving the focus the women's division in the WWE has been getting lately. What are some things you'd like to see them do in the future, like match type storylines and all female? Yeah, bring back, do Evolution 2. Give me another all women's pay-per-view.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That first one was really good.
It was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Nikyle says, when Trick and Mello eventually have their feud, do you think it'll have the same emotion and drama as Ciampa versus Gargano in the late 2010s? Potential's there.
Ooh, yeah. I think it could be. You get a mystery attacker? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff.
And what if they feud under the idea that Mello is the attacker, but he actually wasn't? What if it was Pillman Jr.?
Bro, come on, that guy, he ain't capable of being a mystery attacker. I don't know. Okay, so if it's not Mello, Why did Mello have that scowl on his face?
Because Trick. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, but Trick was like, was he suspicious that Mello was the guy who attacked him?
Maybe. I think so.
I mean, maybe that's all it was. Is that he had that look on his face because Trick didn't trust him anymore.
I think he had that look on his face because Pillman Jr. was still nearby.
That could be.
He was like,
he was within eye shot and saw him. Was like,
he was at, what is that smell? God, get out of here with that. Because, you know, Pillman Jr., part of his gimmick, I think, should be he keeps his laundry in the washer for too long after it's done washing. So it's got that mildewy smell.
Yeah.
And he's like, why doesn't he use color safe bleach? Gets it right out. He's just walking around. He's like, what is that mildew? Oh, it's Pillman
At least
Jr.
rinse it again.
Try to wash it again.
It doesn't have to do the full cycle. Just rinse it again. Try that. If it doesn't work, then you got to wash it again.
Right. Oh, man.
Justin Sider says, with the additions of Asuka and Kyrie as Damage Control, the strongest all-women's faction ever. I don't know, because in Stardom, they have a lot of factions, and they're like, you know, there's a lot of pretty huge names in some of those factions.
So let's narrow it down to our, you know.
So Outcast, Damage Control is what you're saying.
I mean, let's be like, WWE does not do a lot of women's factions.
No.
Historically speaking.
I mean, Damage Control, especially with the additions, is pretty loaded. Pretty loaded faction. Yeah.
Rage says Pillman Jr. needs a mouthpiece because his promos are rough. Can we also get somebody to wrestle for him?
Oh man.
He should be like, Pillman Jr. should be like, oh man, who played? It was golly, Xia Li's faction with Boa.
Oh yeah.
He could just be the guy sitting there, and then everybody else does all the other stuff.
Exactly.
And he does this shit.
Yeah, he just sulks. Yes. Yeah, in his chair.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Thomas says the beautiful people in TNA.
Yeah, I know one is
Angelina Love, right?
yes. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
They weren't just a tag team, or was there three of them?
No, I think there was. Oh, Toxic Attraction. Thank you, White Brownie. Of course,
Oh,
Toxic
yeah,
Attraction.
Toxic
Yeah,
Attraction.
Toxic Attraction was great.
Damage Control is more powerful than them.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, yeah, Damage Control. You're right, dude. I don't know shit about like Stardom. I know there's a lot of great factions over there, but I don't know anything about that stuff. In terms of WWE, WCW, AEW, shit that I actually kind of know something about. Yeah, are you kidding me? Asuka, Bailey, Io, Kyrie, Saint, get out of here, of course. Yeah.
Yep. I think all of them have been champs on either main roster and NXT, if not both. Unlike Brian Pillman Jr., right?
Would that be the big, at least for me? I know you're not a big turnaround guy, but I'm known as the turnaround guy.
Yeah.
Would that be the biggest turnaround? Is Pillman Jr., he's been the butt of our jokes for a long time. We used to call his group the Pillmans.
Yeah. It'd be up there.
I mean, it would have to be a sea change, like a quantum leap in his promo ability, and his wrestling ability, and his presentation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn around on this version of Brian Pillman Jr. beyond like car wreck watching. Like I will watch his stuff for how silly it is.
Yes.
That first match of his was rough.
Oh yeah, right, Squad. See, there's another faction.
Damage Control is way stronger.
Yeah, Damage Control is way better. Way better.
Yeah. But no, that isn't, you're right. That is another faction. That is correct. I mean, yeah, Outcast kind of, I mean, you know, you've got some in terms of like legacy names and stuff. Tony Storm, Saraya, and
Outcast to be something really cool.
And Ruby, yeah.
Trap mentions there's some audio issues with the Patreon stuff. I've been checking them of late, but let me go back and see if any of
all right, we'll take a look at that. Yeah, I know that was the thing for a while.
Yeah, I can't explain that whatsoever, but we'll look into it for sure.
Let's see here.
Oh, Review King says when WWE had 3 women's factions all at once. That's right.
Who WWE did?
Bad.
Oh, yeah. The sorority sisters or something like that?
Yeah.
The submission sorority? Is that what it was?
That's what it was at first, and then they changed the name.
What did they change the name to? Do you remember?
No, I don't recall.
Was it like Team P&B or something like that?
It was probably something like that because they were all about Team something for the
Team
while.
PCB, that's what it was.
Yes, that's what it was.
Team Peanut Butter Jelly. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for Brian Pillman Jr. for being himself. Till next time, we'll see you around. I got a little promo thing at the end of this for our Patreon, so you guys get to watch that for the first time. So goodbye, everybody. Oh, Raw preview. Wait, we got a Raw preview.
You want to do a Raw preview real quick?
Not just me. Triple H wants to do it too. Here he is.
Dude.
Hi, I've been waiting forever. You guys went really long today.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry.
Why am I full screen on the Twitch?
I don't know.
Why are you
I don't
full
see.
screen?
I don't see you at all. Triple H.
You don't see me at all, really?
No. Do you see me?
I see you. Yes. So that's the YouTube crowd can see us both just fine.
Oh, all right. I guess that's fine. Here, let's run through this Raw preview real quick.
All right, Raw preview.
What's first?
First up is Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso trying to take back their. So they have a match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Judgment Day. I don't know why our social media people wrote this whole thing. Try to take back the undisputed WWE Tag Team
Trying
titles.
to make it sound more gusto to it than just a match.
Gusto, what a great word.
Tell us not just hey, there's a match. They describe what's on the line here.
You're right. Yeah, they got the tag titles on the line for the Judgment Day. Judgment Day's gonna win this match. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Judgment Day's gonna win this.
All sorts. Is gonna be. I love the overbooking best. That's what
You
my
love
favorite.
Is there gonna be a pull apart brawl?
Don't interrupt. And yes, there will be a pull apart brawl. Several of them during this match.
Excellent.
Next, Tommaso Ciampa, my favorite wrestler. No one will survive. Throws down with Ludwig Kaiser. What?
Where does theme go though?
Oh, no, we got the new, it's a very slick new DIY theme. It starts off with a guy saying, DIY. Do you know what DIY stands for?
Do it yourself. There you are.
You guys
Triple H,
correct.
I got you.
That's correct.
Do it yourself.
Next, Otis takes on Shinsuke Nakamura. Guess who's taking the L here?
Otis.
Otis, you got that right. Yes. Next, Indy Hartwell looks for payback on Xia Li. The only question is, will this match end with Indy Hartwell getting knocked out?
Xia Li is going to win.
Yeah, she's going to knock her out. And then I'm thinking of next week of maybe doing like a handicap match like Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They both get.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to do the thing that I did with the Kevin Owens and the Austin Theory and the Wallet.
One kick. And yeah.
You're very interrupted today. Next up, The Miz versus Ivar. What a weird match finish. That was a weird match finish last week.
It was.
That's what they call it.
Can you confirm botch? No botch.
Yes, botch. Definitely botch. It was all weird and awkward. Whenever things are weird and awkward in wrestling, I find it funny that it's a botch. And then also Tegan Nox returns to battle Piper Niven.
That'll be a good match.
For a tag title. One tag title.
One tag title. So Tegan wins. She replaces Piper as Chelsea Green's tag.
That's right.
Interesting concept. I like it.
I'm revolutionizing pro wrestling. Like my dad did before me. Anyways, that's going to do it for the game. Have a good day, and I got 2 words for you.
Guns up.
No. What?
Oh.
No, that's not that Piss End Company. This is Suck It. He's gone. What happened with your Zoom there? Why were you hogging the spotlight there?
Oh, because I had something turned off that this wasn't supposed to be turned off, but it's been fixed.
Wow, okay, good. We need to make sure everybody gets to see, even the Twitch chatters get to see Triple H in all his glory.
Exactly.
I might go get some Fritos. That sounds good.
Oh, you have Fritos?
No, I might get some.
Oh, you have to go get some.
I got to go to the store and get some. Yeah. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Now that I said
Fritos
the team,
inside your sandwich?
The team peanut butter and jelly. Now I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, I know. That sounds good to me, too. I might have to go make me one.
CD5 says, what kind of Fritos? Scoops.
Yeah.
Scoops, like the Stephen Wilds of Fritos.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around. Goodbye. Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.